In the world all over, we're looking at Down syndrome. Now, I am, so happy to have my brother here with me. And if at the two of you, I'm not really going to mind you for now, but I have my boy here, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation. And so if you're watching us at home, in the theme for here Down syndrome celebration all over the world, also end the stereotype now. Into we're going to delve into it. But of course, Stella Nketia is here on the, should I say, facilitator when it comes to Down syndrome for one conditions now. And I have Kelvin also here with me, Ayerba Bezinkomo. And he is Steven, right? Gideon, how are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine. I'm also fine. Good to have you here, Gideon. You're handsome. You look good. Let's put a hands together for Gideon. Great. It's in the ever Bobonkoma. Gideon came with a brother in Bristol, and the brother would also come and join, and they will be entertaining us on the show today. I'm telling you, they are amazing, and you would love them. It's Yembra to Stella Nketia as say. Stella, today we're looking at ending the stereotype, but before we look at what you people go through or what you think society yema in one hour what Down syndrome walk through, no, how long have you been with them?
4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
What pushed you into getting to taking care of people living with Down syndrome?
Okay, so I was in a typical school and I had a child with Down syndrome. So that pushed me to go and study about them and work with them.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, now let's come to your story. And then I'll go to Kelvin. So now, but Kelvin, how long have you been there also? How long have you been working with them?
I'm an intern currently.
You are intern?
Yes,
oh, so you've not been with them for long. So you tell me what actually encouraged you into going there. Now, you share the challenges I will face on that. So I was say, you had a child in that autism. Share the experience with us. How did you it's in the day, Abufrana will no now you be right from birth, or it was later then you realize that you've given birth to Abufraba with that challenge?
So the child was actually a student in where I was working. So I realized he had difficulties learning. The pace at which Osunya was really slow. So I asked the mom, say, be our makoye check up, be no me who say, no, it's okay, nebano or Down syndrome. And I said, oh, that was my first time. And then Down syndrome. So she started educating me. Namika said, then I have to learn a lot about them. Then mommy called for this.
Okay, so enya one kasa na wo akwala. Said ya kasa na wo akwala tisa. Na my DM say one kasa na wo akwala tisa. Enti ube hu akwala ne say na ononkwa condition na te say e ma wadwen ba so say no, there could be something wrong with this child.
We say ne looks no all round eyes anyway no who say or you different omo won so omo you different from your typical children any omo feel. Nti you no na train attention first. Any the we Osunya there.
So you decided to get in there, say, Ubetimi Akwa. Now, when you got in there, to say a school Amote, Epicenter, right? That's the name of the institution. No? You look after Down syndrome children.
Children with autism, cerebral palsy, and people who have difficulties learning.
Oh, okay. Yes. Beautiful. So help me know, so far, no, more mature, my dear, no, how do you go about it? How are you able to identify obiane the uniqueness to say that, let me say, yeah, your work classroom, no, at least you can tell, but these ones, quite difficult talking to you and stuff like that. So how are you able to identify the uniqueness in them that will be
Okay, so when they become familiar with you, or mokasacho, maybe by pointing, maybe so baby or west. Okay, the ones I've worked with now have west. It is omo here bibia na some person me bibia omo ye.
Wow. Kevin, our intern were into Ebemi Cherry, but today we're looking at stereotyping. With the little time you've been with them, tell me something. How does this whole stereotyping thing affect the children themselves and then that of their families with the little you've experienced?
Yeah, so it's stereotyping. When you stereotype a child with special needs or a disability, you make them timid. or isolated because they won't be able to open up to come into the community. Because anytime they go to play with other children who do not have like difficulties, parents don't like their children playing with children with disabilities, so they take them away. And their kids, they don't know, it's not their fault they have Down syndrome. Yeah, wow. So like when they play with other children, they suck them away. So they feel like they are not part of society, they are not part of this, they are not part of this. So they isolate themselves and feel lonely.
Stella, when you're on your more, let me try and speak your chi so you can understand me better. When you're more 4 years in me, boamio, say ye can't stereotype her. I junior ye nyama. Ebinum a eyakra na entesa tete no na yese wo akwala entesa na chese bia yabodua oye oba yabodua ana se oyebosomba ana bibia entesa entesa kolom entesa wo kan autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome na nya ade a ye geomokra ewofie ene de enibie aba, you know, for us to be welcoming them some way somehow. You have been with them for 4 years. What do you think is still a problem? And what say you to me dealing with as far as stereotyping is concerned?
Okay, so people feel people with Down syndrome are always overweight. But looking at the children we came here with, not all of them are overweight.
Okay.
And people feel they cannot get married and have children. But there's nothing to show, say, if both of them get married, they are going to give birth to someone with Down syndrome. Yes.
Okay. And you are not a medical person, but once now that is basically your cause you've chosen. No, can you help us know especially we're talking about stereotyping so that can go off. Na yahwe other aspect of it. So if you know of any, help us. What brings about these conditions?
So it's a condition in which a person has an extra chromosome. We are supposed to have 46 in all. So
okay,
it is omunya extra chromosomes and a bemo minya sayarian. One say was here G23 or mammy ho. Near G23 or papa ho, but say a more and a more Down syndrome. And those chromosomes, the Sawunya more affect how or features neighbor, but anyhow I'll be behave, say wunya. You bet to me they say who bake cake. I example. One say you share recipes no in baking cake. I usually 2 eggs, but say oh add 4. And I said 3, it will still come as a cake, but it be a bit more fluffy and I say hard. Sana yon kola yeti, it's a 24 ni 23 bichi, and I more than 46 now. They come as human beings, but ombe different, ombe Down syndrome.
I see, but no. Pemunshishi mo ayeno. Aya na ediene bema yenya. You know, this excess chromosome at the end of the day, you bet me provided. Is it about dieting from the little research that you people have done? And I say it is something that we don't have much control over.
Oh, it happens naturally. It happens naturally. It can happen to anyone. It's not preventable. It happens naturally. So if the chromosomes become small, you're going to have a child with Down syndrome.
Wow. All right. So this morning, this is our conversation. I share the world all over. I share Down syndrome today. Also end the stereotype on Down syndrome. You know, into those what will live with that condition. Yeah, Ajin Bebraya Junior Zema now. Stella here. Wabu Bobito that Yanaji Yende Damon Crofonu Nyaza Wobotum Wawana Wawamba. It is not true. Yes. They can also live like other human beings. You know. Like us, you know, and then we also say that there are people who cannot learn. Yeah. Sometimes that's what we think, but there are people who can learn. You're going to share with us some of the talent you've identified with them, and then we also get them to display some for us to see. And then we also have this mindset that they are always big, which is also not so true. All right, let me come to you, Kelvin. You have not been there for long, but what has been that experience which excites you so much about them? That someone listening to us would love to experience that also.
Well, I've learned about children with Down syndrome. They are very friendly and open up. And anytime you're around them, you have this joy in you because they are free. They make you laugh. They dance. They are very interesting children all around.
Wow. Gideon.
Yes.
Hey, Gideon. Gideon, you have a lot for me today, okay? You're going to do a lot for me today, right? All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go for a short break. When we're back, we'll be having some conversations with Gideon in the studio. So the two of them, Stella Nketia, Kelvin, Minyuan Boye Kakradna, go to Gideon. Gideon's brother is also in the house, and we're going to have that beautiful conversations with them. They have something special for us today. Then we do that. But that I'm so excited having my two handsome brothers with me, and then my beautiful Stella also here. Earlier, na years in Komo, years share what society think of those living with Down syndrome. Stella has made us so much aware that most of the things that we do think about are not these are stereotypes, and we need to deal with them. So this morning on the show, The World All Over, we are dealing with stereotypes, so we need to end it now. That is our theme for this year's Down Syndrome Day. Now, Stefan has also joined me, you have a visit come cry. And then Gideon, are you happy? You are happy. Okay, so what makes you happy today?
The house.
What makes you happy today?
The house.
The house makes you happy.
Yes.
Well, so what at home makes you happy? What is at home that makes you happy? Okay. Ukofia wenije. Ukofia wenije. Edi na ukofia ma wenije pa. Ose. Ose. Okay. Yes, wuni masapa. Wuni masapa. Enti na obesa ma mi ho. Na Stefano, also ni masapa meboa. And also besama meboa. Obesama meboa. All right, so I have indeed in there they are as a recognized people living with Down syndrome. We want them to know that we love them, we appreciate them. We want them to understand that we see them as what's there in here Nara, we cannot discriminate among human. Obitsi biara no nyaminyim sentra to them. So we eat together, we dance together, we do everything together, and that is what we are demonstrating here in the studio. But let me come to Stella. Na Salanti and a dear special thing na air so as far as Mudeni are concerned.
Okay, and then you be at work, baby. You be new duani ankola ne pe. You be beading, bees and so on to support the children because it be free homes are omu ni be a be more papa eduani ejomo because more Down syndrome. A whole lot of stories. Into ye be a year contributions into you are calling out for scholarships. If you want to support the epicenter, you want to donate to us, a be eduani, sikasemo or anything. Yes.
All right, so Yensha epicenter one kasa. How are you able to, say nkwalai mo na mo kwahwehwe mo de omo buy epicenter ho and I say parents no de omo bus school omo plan omo abefo mo kwa na say den let me know.
Oh, okay. It's ye wo Gbari CP Udu Pentecost hostel hona.
Okay.
Echi hona na yewo. Ana yenkola no wonse bi wa ohu akola wo se beka say bia minim school bi wa hasin omoje nkola hasin to betumi de omo akoho sa na ya yedinya nkola no ana ye wo day any respite no ba anopa Mondays no mako Fridays enyume ebi mu wo kwan omo kwan wa enti omo ba Mondays no mako Fridays
to spend the weekend with our families. But how about those said they are now okay obi papa ejani ho obi mame because our quality saying to ejani ejano do you keep them there like till when?
Okay, omo family members na say bia ne papa na ne mame ni ho one ne auntie na obi tse eti ne ya per scholarship amano some of them po ya gi omo a without scholarship and I say bibi.
Okay. All right. What are some of the things these children can do? Say, they are just there and they have no life. What are some of the uniqueness that, identifier and they so be a better any so man who because they have something special with them?
Aside their unique challenges, they have nice things they can do. Some can actually braid. Yes, a boy can braid nicely like a normal, typical girl. He can really braid. He can do beading. He can sew.
Okay.
So if we employ them into the world of work, they will be able to do a lot of things if only we break down skills for them.
You've mentioned so many things here, but Soria Koso, society, today we're looking at stereotyping, ending it today. Speak to society, look into the cameras and speak to society about Down syndrome. So look into the camera, that can be betrayal society, my... Yeah, so just say something, we're listening to you.
I know the misconception about Down syndrome is common, but I invite you to open your heart and your arms to receive them and see them as typical children before their disabilities. Yes, they're able to do a lot of things which you involve them in community things, school things. When they come to church, you can involve them in the activities in church, the community, in school, and we should also accept them into our mainstream schools. Yes.
All right. Somebody would want to help, and they muday obi persebia or bremu be, just to put smiles on your faces. Do you have any number that you can give to that person to call?
Yes, please.
Okay, Ntifana Manima Yentimin Fremu.
Okay, Pachobe me afraid 024 605 8329.
Okay, sign corner man
024 605 8329.
All right. We do not have the whole day. For me, it was basically to tell the world that we are all the same, unity in diversity. Obiara na Mesi Manyankopon Osi Bon Ofai. We've had an interesting time here in the studio, and I'm sure you at home, you've also had fun. Say, me, papa, na say, awo baby out to the ma. This is not the time to run away. God knows why. Into Bombazan, they able to Nayan and Kakankakra. When you go to Epicenter, I'm sure technical training and Kotina was about, but you give them the basic education as well, which has to do with the math, the science, and all that. And they are picking up, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. My producer tells me that they would want you to take your time and then tell us the numbers again. Into Wuna Manotoba and Aboma Henbium na Yentumi and Sodo for today.
024 605 8329.
024 605 8329. All right then. So you can call if you want to show them some love today. In there, you want to so let's love them so much. I love them so much, So Gideon, you better say she have you more. Why? Into your baby school nearby bedin come. Why? Great. Stefano, what's on your papa? Into your better say she have you more in there. Na ye di asane mo. Into yanka baba in show biya. Stefano ni Gideon, yanka baba in show biya. Yanka baba.
Stefano.
In show biya, Stefano.
Bye.
All right, okay then. All right, so that's it. Thank you very much, Stella, for passing through. Of course, Kelvin was also here, and then Gideon and Stefano in a hinari aji and